Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for tuning into another episode, squad. We're going to be watching something that's not music related today, but as you can see, Bert Kreischer is on deck. So he's got the Wrestling Mafia, the Machine story. Um, I've been watching, Bert Kreischer for a little bit now, for a couple of years, but I just knew him mainly, I think, from like Joe Rogan and stuff like that, and different podcasts. Like, I believe he's got a new, not a new podcast, but his podcast Bert has called Bertcast, and I just watched one recently with Dane Cook. It was pretty funny, so check it out. Go subscribe to his channel. Bert's hilarious. He came through my hometown not a few months ago, earlier this year, back in May, and got to go watch him a week after I graduated from WT. So that was a pretty cool experience to go watch him live. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and finally I couldn't pass up the opportunity to go watch Bert Kreischer. This man's hilarious, but off the riff, I cannot speak today. But good thing I'm gonna let Bert speak. So we're gonna get right into it, and this is the machine with Bert Kreischer.
When I was 22, I got involved with the Russian mafia. Here's how it happened.
Also, I was gonna say too, he's known for having his shirt off. I don't know why or how it got started, but that's just something he's always. That's his his shtick, if that's how you pronounce it, or his thing. He always comes onto the stage and takes his shirt off. I don't know why. That's just his thing. So people are wondering. So I don't know either, but that's just his thing.
I went to school at Florida State. I was not a very good student. I was there like 7 years. I was there in most of the 90s. I was in college longer than grunge music was around. So, this is how bad of a student I was. One time, I signed up for a Russian class thinking it was Spanish, and it took 3 classes before I realized, I don't think this is Spanish.
I took a Spanish class when I was, towards the end of my college run, or college, I guess, career as a student, whatever. Man, Spanish is so different because I'm half Hispanic, and the Spanish even then is crazy from college to what I've heard growing up. But yeah, it's just but I can only imagine you go signing up for a Russian class or Spanish Russian class. Is that what he said? And thinking it was Spanish. Crazy. He's such a stupid. He's an idiot.
So,
In a good way, Bert. If you ever watch this.
I got to leave the teacher who was hot. He definitely worked out.
What?
I'm kidding. It was a girl. It was a girl. And she was hot. She still is hot. She stopped me. She goes, don't go anywhere. I need 14 kids to teach this class. You're the 14th. I need to teach this class in order to get my master's. So, if you sit back down, you don't have to do anything all semester, and I'll just give you a C. I was like, Strasvutia, bitches, I'm back.
He said, bet. I would have done the same thing too. You get a C in a wrestling class. I mean, granted, C's get degrees, but at the end of the day, I want to earn that grade, but, I mean, the teacher pulls you aside. I wonder if he was like a TA or something like that. Or was he like a TA getting your master's? What do you say, Florida State? I mean, I don't wonder if that was like a different time back in the 90s compared to now. But man, it just pulls you aside. I'm teaching this master's. Can you imagine just being Bert in that situation? I bet it goes on so much more than we know about. But like, hey, I need to get my master's. So what does this sit on down? I'll give you a C. The class is limited. I've been in a situation before, not like Bert, but I've been in situations where like you're the student who makes like the limit for the class. I've been in very small classes before, and it's very weird a little bit initially, but he's kind of get over it. But it's crazy.
So I took Russian 1, 2, 3, and 4, never learned a word.
Me in Spanish.
Think about what I'm saying. I took 2 years of a language, took 4 semesters of my college career, four semesters. Russian 4 was taught in Russian. Do you have any idea what it's like to go to a class and sit there like an immigrant at the DMV all day? Like,
He said, I barely understand what's going on at the DMV right now. I mean, trying to learn something like in a new language. I mean, I got a minor in communication studies, but I can only imagine getting a minor in a different whole Language, I mean, he said, can you imagine going to the DMV all day? The hand
At the end of
signals.
Russia 4, same teacher pulls me aside. She's like, we're taking a trip to Russia. If you go, you'll get a minor. I was like, okay, hold on. I can't really speak, read, write, or understand the language, right? She's like, I'm fucking well aware of that. You gotta remember, I was taking tests in a language with which I was unfamiliar with their alphabet. Do you have any idea what it's like to take a test and make up hieroglyphics? And the answer is star, circle, hashtag shoe.
That's me. That was me in Spanish. I took it online. I'm like, okay. What he said star hashtag Sue or whatever. Let's make up hieroglyphics in a test.
She goes, it doesn't matter. We need kids to make this trip happen, and if you go with all the classes you've taken and the ones you will take, dude, you will get a minor. And I was like, oh, that's all you had to say. Let's go to Russia and fuck some minors.
Hold up. He said, let's go to Russia. This guy's he's an idiot.
It was different minor, obviously.
Obviously. He said obviously.
So we went to Russia in 1995. This is when the mob ran everything, and they told us that our very first night. They sat the whole class down. They're like, listen, we have paid off the mafia to keep you safe. In exchange for our money, they give us 2 young gangsters. I'm in the room like, this trip just got fucking awesome.
Can you imagine being like a college student, like fresh out of high school, or I know he said this is his 4th class, like Russian class, but like, can you imagine being in a whole other country and not really knowing much of the language, and you're learning there for a study abroad situation going on, and you come in, like, back in the 90s, they ran, he said Russian mob ran everything, and you come, like, you're dealing with the Russian mob, like, you're in their territory, they could literally do anything, whenever. I would be scared, I don't know, I don't know, I think I'd be scared, not scared, but I don't know, I just felt like I'd be on edge the whole trip, so, you're like a teenager or a young 20-year-old, and you're just in a whole different, like, country at a different time. It's not like it is today, but it's just crazy.
The word for gangster in Russian is banditi. They go, these banditi are going to live with us. They're going to walk you to class. They're going to walk you back from class. They're going to take you on field trips, walk you back from field trips. Do not speak to them. They're in the mafia. Do not look at them. Do not engage them. Do not interact with them. I was like, well, they're going to be my best fucking friends. So the first night I grab a bottle of vodka and a 6-pack of Baltica, which is our local beer, and I planned a sentence. I was going to say, Здравствуйте, меня зовут Bert, очень приятно. Я работаю кошка.
What?
Does anyone speak Russian in here? I love that someone says no. No?
No.
I did a head count earlier. It doesn't look like it. I'll tell you what the sentence says. It's a badass sentence. I worked all day on it. Hello, my name's Bert. It's very nice to meet you. I work pussy. Kind of. It really means I work with cats. I didn't know the fucking language. What do you expect? It doesn't matter, because the second the door opens and I'm face to face with a real Russian gangster with the wife beater and the tattoos, with the track pants and the cigarette, and he just stares me up and down. A frat boy from Florida State. I was wearing a fanny pack. He just looks at me and goes, "Stole." I fucking panicked. And everything I had planned on saying flooded out of my head. And all I said to him in Russian in his doorway was, "I am the machine." And he started laughing. He goes, "What did you say?" I was like, "I'm the machine." He grabs me and he goes, "Come in and tell my friends." Brings me in a room full of 9 Russian gangsters drinking and smoking and just goes, "Stop! Tell them what you said." Now I'm like, fuck it, I'm the machine! They looked at each other, looked at me, and they're like, fuck it, he's the machine! And I became the machine, and these guys loved me.
Can you imagine coming? You think you're gonna be like jumped or something at your doorway What'd you say? I'm the machine. And he brings him to the group, like the rest of the gangsters, and you're like, tell him what you said. I'm the machine. And then, like, that reaction, I wasn't expecting that reaction because it felt like, literally, like like I said earlier, you're in your territory. You could just, like, you could be disrespecting their language or them. It's just like, that's crazy. I'm the machine.
Yes. You gotta realize, though, the reason they loved me is I went shot for shot with them that night, all night long, until like 4 in the morning. But all I knew how to say in their language was, I'm the machine! And I fuck cats. So, we did everything together. Like the guy that answered the door, his name was Igor. He was like my best friend. We did everything together. We ran a pool hall scam. We stole a boat.
What?
It was literally the best summer of my life. And then one day, the whole class is taking a trip to Moscow. It's an overnight train trip. And I say to Igor, I go, this is going to be a blast. We're going to be in the same cabin. And he goes, I can't go. I said, why not? And he goes, different mafia runs train, different mafia runs Moscow. I said, well, hold on. What's that mean for me? And he goes, don't worry. I set up banditti. I tell them about you. They'll take care of you. Sure enough, we get to the train station, and he introduces me to my 2 new gangsters, Igor and Igor.
Everybody's just named Igor over there.
And he says to me, he goes, guys, this is the machine. If you give the machine vodka, you'll have a great time. The big ear of the 2 Igors looks like a kid on Christmas. He's like, oh, I can't wait to play with a machine.
I can't play.
He grabs me and he goes, the machine doesn't sit in coach. The machine sits in first class with us. I'm like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. We go to first class and it is pimped out with booze, food, and here's the real gangster part. Second the train takes off out of the station, everyone that works on the train comes in to pay their respects. The conductor walked in.
Jeez.
Rips off the stars and stripes to his shirt, places them on my lap, and goes, this is a present for the machine. It would be an honor to do a shot of vodka with the machine.
Can you imagine the conductor coming out? He's got to, like, legit drive the train or get the train from point A to point B. And he's like, oh, he comes out, first of all. Like, who's even, like, in charge of the train right now? And second, you want to do a shot of vodka before you got to drive a whole train full of people. That is not, like, drinking and driving is one thing, and then you're taking it a whole nother level with the train. Like, makes zero sense.
I'm 22 years old thinking, these machine stories might have gotten out of control.
I'd say.
We drink all the booze in an hour, and Big Igor stands up and he goes, machine, we go to the bar cart to get more vodka. I'm like, fuck it, I'm in the mob, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. We roll into the bar cart like a big dick in a locker room. Just, not that I've ever been that guy, but I've seen it. Just smack. You know the look where everyone looks like, oh shit, okay. Oh, someone's here, okay, all right.
Someone's here.
Igor looks at me, and in Russian he says, machine, go behind the bar and grab bread. In Russian. And I understood him. For a second, I'm like, I'm fucking learning. I'm learning the language my way, not through flashcards and textbooks, but by joining the mafia. I get behind the bar, I'm like, Igor, I know what you said. He's like, go for your machine. Can the machine find cheese? And I was like...
His storytelling, too, I'm thinking about this. His storytelling, this is one joke, and, like, his storytelling is, like, so fluid. Like, there's, like, so much... like structure, like in a good way. There's structure in it. He's not too detailed, or he's not like giving too much detail and too little detail. He's for me at least, he feel like you're keeping people engaged with everything he's saying. It just it's a type of fluidity, I guess, as to say. I don't know if I already said that, but he's such a good storyteller. It feels like I'm like there talking, listening, watching it all unfold like a movie.
He's like, grab vodka. I was like, I already know that one. Give me another one. He's like, grab the money. I'm like, huh? He goes, grab the fucking money. And I realized at that instant, we're robbing the bar cart. And I'm the one doing it, hooked on phonics style.
Hooked on phonics. That reminds me of the Brian Regan joke. He's like, hooking on phonics. I gotta do a Brian Regan reaction someday. Let me know in the comments, and like this type of film. You do a Brian Regan one, but you see, but he said I'm doing it hooked on phonics style.
I grab the money, walk out. Two of my classmates see me and they're like, "You're in so much trouble." Go back to our first class cabin, and within 5 minutes, the head chaperone of this train trip, not the whole trip, just this train trip, she was an English teacher who did not speak Russian, who hated me before I robbed the train. She comes over to our first class cabin and swings the door open with that like liberal arts confidence. Just
I don't know what he's talking about. I've seen some people at different schools that I've been to in college. There's people who like think they have that authority. You can tell by their body language and their nonverbal like this body language and communication. They're just like they think I don't know. It's something about it. You have to see it. If you don't know it, you just have to see it.
This shit is over.
Exactly like
You're
this.
done. You're done. Stand up right now. You stand up. Stand. How? You're done. Stand up. And Big Igor looks at me confused, then smiles, takes a big sip of vodka, spits it in her eyes, and goes, "No one talks to the machine like that."
What?
Shuts the door in her face and goes, "Fuck that bitch. This is Russia."
Oh my god.
Don't worry, machine. When it gets dark, we have good time. Like, what the fuck are we doing when it gets dark?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, he spit in the girl's face, the teacher's face, and he goes, "Forget that girl," whatever. And then they already robbed the train and spit in the girl's face with vodka. What comes next? Like, genuinely, like, what comes next? Stupid ass. Yeah. As what I was saying, it's just so crazy. I mean, being a
How
whole
to get
different
ripped
country.
within 30 days without gym and dieting. This genius US Navy SEALs device to get incredible abs within 4 weeks without...
Reaches into his pocket, pulls out a ring of keys, and he goes, "We're robbing the whole fucking train."
Oh, jeez.
I'm a good person. I don't cheat. This is why. Let me tell you. I don't cheat on my wife. I don't cheat on my wife because one morning our whole family was in bed. The dogs, the cats, the girls, my wife, and we were just giggling, and it was pure. It was perfect. And I thought to myself, I don't ever want to screw this up. This is the most important thing. This is what life's about. And they got up to make chocolate chip pancakes, and I laid in bed and I said, I will never cheat on my wife. I had a conversation with myself. I said, if I ever get into a situation where a hot girl's flirting with me, or I think she's flirting with me, and it seems like it could go further, I'm just gonna cock block myself. I'm just gonna look her in the face in front of everyone and go, I don't cheat on my wife! Now, I may be wrong. She may not be hitting on me. She may throw a drink in my face, slap me, or I may be right. None of that matters to me. What matters to me is that I don't cheat on my wife because I've already had that conversation. Here's the problem. I never had that conversation about robbing trains. So when presented the opportunity, I thought I'd be like, not me. I'm going to go back and work on my verbs.
You said we were working on my verbs.
But apparently, when presented the opportunity, I'm the guy that's like, fuck it, let's start with my class. So we robbed them first. While they slept, if that makes it better. And then we robbed the whole train. And if there's any consolation, we robbed me too. My bag was with them. And then we drank all night long. All night long. Like literally until 6 in the morning. Top 5 drunkest I've ever been without throwing up in my entire life. We pulled into Moscow at 6 a.m. I'm pissed drunk. You ever been so drunk you're like, I know I gotta piss, but I can't find my dick. Train stops. Sun's up. I'm hammered. Door opens. Same teacher, not mad. Curious, right? She looks me in the eyes, smiling, and goes, I want to be the one to tell you they've alerted the police. And I look out, and on the platform, my whole class is standing there with a cop, talking. They're upset. They've been robbed. I get it. Apparently, they'd never heard snitches get stitches.
Stitches get stitches.
Big Igor sees this and is completely unfazed. He's like, don't worry. I talked to police for both of us. I was like, oh, thank God. He cracks a bottle of vodka. I'm like, I wouldn't bring that out to an officer, maybe. Lights a cigarette, walks out to the cop. who's taking a statement. The cop is taking a statement. Igor walks up behind him, grabs him by the arm, spins him around, and goes, "Fuck you! We fuck you in the mouth! We fuck you in the ass! I'm like, stop with the fucking we shit!" Now the cop is just staring at me.
He said, quit with the weak stuff.
I hear him bark out, "Pardon, skidye," which I don't even know what that means, but it doesn't sound like, "You're okay, stay there." It is
like, heck no, I'm staying where I am. I don't know what's going on.
a come to Jesus moment where you know you fucked up. All I thought as I walked to the cop, who's standing in front of the class I just robbed, next to the gangster I robbed them with, my only thought was, this isn't how I plan on spending my second junior year.
This wasn't how I was planning on my second junior year. I guess he was in school for quite a bit. Like, I guess he mentioned that earlier, huh? He said he was in school longer than grunge music was around.
Gulag taking hot dicks to the throat.
What? Hold on.
My only thought was, this isn't how I plan on spending my second junior year.
What did he say?
And the gulag taking hot dicks to the throat. I get 5 steps from the cop, who looks impatient as shit. He takes 2 big-ass steps, grabs me by the arm, spins me away from my class, away from Igor, pulls me right into his face, and he goes, "So, I understand you're the machine." Nice. Tonight you party with us. I was like, "What?" He's like, "Tonight you party with us, yes?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Wait, I'm not in trouble?" And he gets so close to me I can smell his morning cigarette, and he goes, "No. Fuck that bitch. This is Russia." When I was
That was funny. I mean, it's a little detail. I was saying to you, he's such a good storyteller. I mean, it's a little, like, detail, I think, that really makes the story great. I mean, I think the little thing he had at the end, he's, like, talking about, like, he got so close I could smell his morning cigarette. I mean, I could, when he said that, like, I was listening, like, I was really paying attention to the detail of what he was saying. I mean, it feels like Bert really, like, hammers that in. I think, personally, I could be wrong, but that's what I was kept listening to. I'm like, I always felt like I was there listening to it all, like a fly on the wall, watching the whole ordeal take place. I mean, but yeah, Bert Kreischer. That was Bert Kreischer with the machine. Like I said, he's one of the funniest dudes I think I've been seeing for a little bit now. I first heard about him on Joe Rogan's podcast. So, yeah, that was a machine with Bert Kreischer. Hilarious. I mean, let me know if in the comments and learn the like stuff if you think I should do more comedy. Let me know, like, other comedians. I got, like I mentioned earlier, Brian Regan's someone I got to go to and watch a reaction video too. But yeah, there's a lot of people I really want to watch out there. I mean, and you know, I want to keep doing music. So don't get me wrong, like music reactions, obviously. But yeah, so that was Bert Kreischer with the Machine. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. That was hilarious. If you got any more Bert Kreischer stuff, let me know. And yeah, thank y'all. Have a good rest of this week. Bye.